for the evidence. He's still waiting. Because they're right fucking mad. Liars, they must think we're stupid. Vaccines up your ass. You can stick your boys in vaccines up your ass. If they're so safe, how come you
Can I ask, can I post that?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Does your kids there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see anything yet. Thank you.
Ai, não.
Did I give you one of those?
They're pop tarts. Yeah, they're good, eh? Alternative.
We got around.
The other way? Yeah.
After the kids make up their own words.
Yeah, they
on
did,
it.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, made it
Very
up.
good.
Your sign's covering it. Yeah, you going in front of me?
I really don't like it,
Gypsy, stick mama. Gypsy. Save me. Gypsy. Sorry.
What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? My body. My body. My body. My body. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it?
Check on it.
Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Choice. When do we want it? Now. My body, my choice. 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 Take off the arm. 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 My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. What do we want? Freedom. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Freedom. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it? Now. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My
Now.
body, my choice. My body, my choice.
Stay with me. Mummy's a bit quick.
My body, my choice. 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 What do we want? Freedom. What do we want it? Now. What
easy.
My body, my choice. 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 My body, my choice.
Do it, Gypsy. Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Free Victoria! No more lockdown! No more lockdown! Yeah. Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Gypsy, go over the other side next to the Stop, sorry. Okay. That's pretty cool. You got a chant? Huh? Stick together here, Gypsy, stick with the pram. Jenga, stick with Mummy. See the guy with the mask on run away? See the guy with the mask on run away? Gypsy, save Mama. Watch the food. Oi, we can't go that way. You're right. Come the path, Joe.
Never seen so much police in one place.
Hey?
Never seen so much police in one place.
Just kidding.
Sorry.
Jonas, what's up with the man? Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry.
I've got it. Let's get a bit closer because we're going to talk over here, aren't
Mind you, that could be a way of getting people to admit things. You know, so, oh yeah, at least.
Hang on, off. Go in front. So I can see everyone. Janga. You okay, mister?
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Job well done. You know, I've been working on these marches for years, and generally we meet from the people on the sidewalk heckling us. It's rare to get a positive comment, but this is the first time I've seen so many positive people giving us the thumbs up and telling us they're on our side. I thought that was a very encouragement sign. The official narrative is crumbling. People are scared, they're unsure. Wonderful. Before we go any further, I'd like to invite Lynette up. And Lynette is going to offer a prayer here today. Thank you, Lynette.
Just want to say
It's on the side.
there are a lot of forces out there trying to stand our way of life and freedom here in Australia. And we ask for your protection and goodwill. Oh, Pastor, so happy and worried. Whatever is not like you, stand we need your help and guidance to be good stewards of the land. You have given us to share and to in each and every one of us. Thanks so much for letting us bring us this far and about the Victorians.
We're pizza.
Oh yeah, pizza. You have pizza? Pizza? God bless
Bring a gypsy
Australia.
pizza.
Grace us and the Holy Spirit. We are Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Lynette. That's a great foundation for today's meeting.
Fair.
You know, we
Fair.
are in dire times, and while we're not being carted off to concentration camps as yet, I just read on my way down here a book by a Thomas Bergenthal. He was one of the youngest survivors of a Auschwitz concentration camp and walked from Auschwitz until eventually freedom. And his mother tells the story in there that when she was in Germany, because that's where they lived, that people shunned her in the street. Her old friends disowned her. They reported on her. They were hostile, they were unfriendly. And when she went back after the war, they were all smiling and friendly because now she was a little bit famous because she'd survived, and they were trying to ingratiate themselves into her good books. We live in a time like this where we even see neighbours and family and friends who are cutting us off, that we've become an embarrassment to them because we are fighting for their right to say no to a medical intervention that's unproven to be effective. It's now proving to be unsafe, and that it has had our Prime Minister, our Health Minister, and every Tom, Dick and Harry with a degree telling us this is the best for the country and for our own well-being and freedom. Like fun. No way. No way in the world. We are born free. We are free sovereign beings under God, and we will make the decisions about what goes into our body and what doesn't go into the body. We have the situation in Victoria, which is a damn shame. We have the economy being gutted once more. Now, I'm actually affected because my business, I employ about 10 people, very small, probably of no significance whatsoever to the Prime Minister, the Premier, and every other bureaucrat that makes decisions. Certainly not to anyone in Victoria. But this week, our business had to close down because we take accommodation, and everybody that we had booked in except for 2 people were from Victoria, and we lost the lot. So I've had to have the job of telling the staff they're all off this week. I don't actually have the money to pay them. These continual round of lockdowns and lockdowns. We're in a dire strait when the government's just going in willy-nilly because some people are a little ill, shutting down economies with no regard for the people on the land, the people on the ground. I have a dear aunt who had a heart attack a few weeks ago, and it was straight after the vaccination, and she told me, she said, I know what it was, Michael, but they've assured me it was not the vaccination. She said, but I won't be taking the second one, and my cousin, her daughter, said yes, and I won't be taking them at all. People are waking up. We're starting now to see people in our families, in our streets. The collateral damage is horrific. We don't know anyone that has COVID, and if they did have COVID, they got over it fairly well. My wife's currently in the United States in exile, and she's got some very dear friends of ours over there who did have COVID. They said, well, we were sick for about 3 days, we got tested and it was COVID, it's a big deal. It was, we've had a lot worse flus than that. So here we have this great travesty of justice. There are cures out there, there are alternatives, and I have a great belief in the body's ability to heal itself.
Yep.
When this first broke, I was in the United States of America, and people told me, oh, aren't you scared? I said, no, I've never been scared. You can put me on a plane full of COVID people and I'll kiss them all. I'll be worried in the slightest. I have great confidence in this body that I look after to heal myself. I'm 64 years old, and if it's and honestly, the flu, we're sure become a weak nation. I'm glad you're here to show some courage. This weakness has got to end. Our politicians are weak. They're unworthy of the pay we pay them. They're unworthy. At the informed medical options, I hope and pray we get into that place, and I hope and pray that we never capitulate like these people have done, with the exception of a couple. The government has used their power irresponsibly, and we've had enough. So I'm glad you're here today to have a stand, and I'd like to now invite our next speaker, who is Leah. Leah, would you like to come here? Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. My name is Leah Talapiel, and I'm here today representing you all, and it's an honour to do so. I stand in front of you as a sister in this movement, and I know that I'm so proud of each and every one of you because we are the trailblazers of this mass awakening.
You want it? Let me share that one and share that one.
Each one of us has chosen to be here today, and what a time it is to be alive. And sometimes it feels like a bit of a burden, but I'm here to reassure you that you were born for this, to be here today. All of the division that's being caused, we've got mothers against daughters, fathers against sons, sisters against brothers. Put your hand up if you've had division in friendships and family over this issue. As awake and aware, conscious human beings, we feel things deeply. And sometimes this does mean that we have fear, that we have anger, that we have sadness, righteous anger over this issue. But I want to sort of take a deep breath today. Take a deep breath together. We're going to go in together. Ready? Take a deep breath in. And I want to breathe out all of those feelings today. Because we are here together, we are safe, and this is family. This is not just about medical coercion. This is spiritual warfare against humanity. What's the quickest way to let people get sick? Isolate them. Isolate them from fellow human beings. So scientific studies on this. You insert cold virus into people's noses. And then you have people who are lonely, who are symptomatic, and other people who have it inserted into their noses. No symptoms at all. What is this telling us? Unite together. Okay, so majority of this world we have now are children walking around in adults' bodies. They're the unpaid foot soldiers of our government and their friends at Big Pharma. They crave to be told what to do. Okay, and this is not a judgment of them because once I walked among them. And many of you did too. But we're here to say today that how much would I have to hate you to not tell you the truth about what's going on? I see a lot of my Maori, Pacifica, Indigenous brothers and sisters here today. Make some noise! Our First Nation people across the world are rising up. I see you, brother. Our First Nation people across the world are rising up. There is a mass awakening among the Indigenous people who have the God-given intuition and haven't strayed too far from nature. Because this is what this is. This is a war against our humanity. And if we let this continue, there'll be nothing left of the spirit. So these bodies, these are just physical vessels, our earthly bodies, but we have to take care of our bodies and what's inside of them, which is our spirit.
On his back.
So all of us here today, we've been told isolate, disconnect from people, social distance, this and that. I'm here to tell you today, that's rubbish. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we are going to turn to the people next to us and we're going to hug them. So everybody turn to someone next to you and embrace, because that's what they do not want.
What do you want me to do?
And look around you, because this is going to be your family. There's division amongst families. Create the new communities. If your job in this movement movement is to make a playgroup for the mums, go and do that. If your job in this playgroup is to make a meal for someone in your community who's having a hard time, go and do that. If your job is to go and create beautiful, healthy babies, go and make those babies. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you. What an impassioned speech. Just love that girl. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. Andrew. He's going to have he's got something for us to say. He's a great warrior in the past for the truth. And here you go, Andrew. It's all to you.
Hey, it's good to see such a solid and a solid crowd here. I don't think I'm pretty certain ground to say that the risks and the dangers that we're facing now are more profound than the countries faced before, even when the Japanese are massing in New Guinea or whatever else is happening. This danger is more dangerous for simply being what it is, a mass psyop against humanity. Now, I'm constantly asked by people when we say they doing this and they doing that, who are they? Now, I have to say I don't know, other than a shadowy group of technocrats and financiers. But what I do know is that they have complete control of the media, including the medical. I mean, if you doubt that this is a conspiracy, have a look at what happened in the Lancet, right? As early as 2005, Anthony Fauci's organisation printed that hydroxychloroquine was an effective treatment of coronavirus simply for the fact that it is a zinc ionophore and it transports zinc into the cell where it disrupts viral replication. 2005. And suddenly Facebook is switching people off because they're saying hydroxychloroquine works. They managed to get a huge article into the Lancet that was withdrawn only after a week of being in print, when it was found to be written by a PR company and all the patients were fake, right? But the FDA changed the legality of hydroxychloroquine 3 days after the article and didn't change it back once the article was withdrawn, right? This is the sort of power they have to make a reality of the Hyde mind. Now, I have a doctorate in immunopathology, and now we've been given a bit of time to study what they're doing. The actual depth and the problem becomes more obvious to you. Let me give you a little bit of biology. Everyone knows about the spike protein. Everyone talks about the spike protein. But what is it? It's a member of a twin enzyme set called the angiotensin converting enzyme number 1 and 2. And like a lot of things in the body, it has opposing actions, right? So ACE2 revs the body up, puts the blood pressure up, increases inflammation. ACE1 does just the opposite. It's the calming one. The ACE1 is widely expressed in human lungs, in the vasculature generally, and the placenta. So they're basically immunising the population against a calming influence in the body, so that we'll be left in a state of constant inflammation and any simple infection will be multiplied. Right? They appear to be using antibody-dependent enhancement when that kicks in next year as a reason for increasing immunisation because of the second wave, when we're really looking at just a massive autoimmunity. So they've got it pretty well stitched up, but there's only one thing they've left out of their calculation, and about 8 or 9,000 of them are looking at me right now, right? Because no, seriously, mate, look, we've had a nice walk in the park and a few talks, but the next time this happens, it may have to happen at Macquarie Street, right? That bitch Kerry Chant, who spent 15 years obstructing my attempts to get medical cannabis going, can now dictate what immunisations you can be given by force. Right? This is a lady with no scientific credibility, a political appointee. Her spirit is just tapping on the knee. Bugger you, Kerry Chant. Right? That's a chief health officer. They've been given inordinate powers. Powers more than a parent to decide what a child receives. Right? Powers beyond the sort of the belief of what should be given to any person, let alone such an unworthy person. Right? I'll finish on this. At the beginning of the Second World War, when the Italians tried to invade Greece, they failed miserably and the Greeks repelled. So the Germans amassed a massive army on the borders, and they sent their emissary in and said, surrender or we'll attack you. And the Greek president famously got the letter and wrote "Orhi" or "no" on it and sent it back. And that's what we have to do. There has to be an "Orhi" or a "no" day. And that's spelled with a K and an E. Right? Knowledge is power, but it's not power if you don't speak it. Right? Silent knowledge is not knowledge at all. Share it. I'll leave you with one thought. There's always a silver lining. There's sheep and goats, mate. The sheep are lining up for the shots. At least we'll have more goats in the new world.
Always a good listen to Andrew. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to invite now Morel Burnham. Morel and I were running mates at the last federal election for the Reform Medical Options Party. Morel, I'll leave you to it.
Thank you, Michael. Congratulations all those here today. You still have the freedom of your mind. Many lives have been lost, many have been maimed, injured, because minds were programmed over years and months, conditioned and programmed using control through that media, using repetition and fear and lies. To stop that exposure of the mind, you stop the media source. So turn off that TV when you hear those lies. Take control of the mind back. Read. Use your intuition. Reason. Research. And allow the spirit to know the truth and feel the truth. Truth dissolves fear. Let you be your own master, not Big Pharma. Fear is more potent than the poison in the gene technology. There are 4 jabs, and they are gene therapy technology, and all have never been used before. Therefore, there is no precedent. The animals did die, all the ferrets died. There is no precedent set to prove that antibodies are produced. And there is no precedent set to say that they will even protect you from COVID. There is no precedent that the antibodies will not even attack your own body parts. There is no precedent to stop transmission. And there is no precedent to say that it will not cause death. These are all assumptions. There is no proof of efficacy, no proof of safety, or anything that they have said. The messenger RNA gene technology inserts that gene material into your body. That spike protein is synthetic because you cannot patent anything from nature. Once that is injected into the cell, it's supposed to signal to the body to make that protein. Questions. Does it continue to make the protein and not switch off? Does it change your DNA?
Oh, he's eyeing off your food. That's what he's doing.
Does it attack other proteins similar to that in your body? There are 28 out of 55 parts of your body similar to that protein. Brain, heart, mitochondria, liver, lungs and blood. They did not test these injections on any of those body parts during those trials. Shame. Shame. Will it turn off the production of the spike protein? No. If not, you will get autoimmune. And this may pursue. Does it pass on in pregnancy? Does it have long-term effects?
Does it pass on through the breast milk? Is there a treatment for it to be reversed? And if you go to the Bayer's website, which is the Vaccine Adverse Reaction Reporting website, the fact is that there are thousands of people reporting side effects. Thousands. And one of these is a mother who had a 5-month-old baby who had the injection while breastfeeding and he died of thrombosis, thrombocytopenia, TTP. What can we do? Do not put profit before people. Stand up, break the sequence, break the cycle, end the chapter, break the agenda, change the history. Vote IMOP at your next election. Or any of the other politicians that are going to stand up to this. Report reactions to IMOP or AVN or download that government form. People are asking, where do I report these? I'm going to finish with this. A quote from my late dad a week ago. A nation united can never be defeated. Unity, go! Unity, unity, unity!
Unity! Unity! Unity!
I felt like Joe Biden. Okay, come on, that's enough. These are the little buckets that you might, someone might want to pass you and ask for a few coins or some other form of currency.
Okay, you pick up
to offset the cost of this day, so they will be officially marked. And also, these T-shirts are for sale over there. So that's the advertising over. Our next speaker is Uncle Dean. Come up here, brother. He's from the Yuin people, and he's got a few words to say which will be very important.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, hello, my name's Dean Kelly, and I was born not too far from here in a straight line, probably a kilometre. But born in 1967, and I'm getting close to the age where Aboriginal men don't live that long. They live till 55, that's what they tell me these days. So I'm 54 this year. So these things where we live to 55 is about what we're putting into our body. And I've got to talk about my little grandson because I'm so proud of my first grandson. But my grandson has had no interference. He's had no needles. But why I'm so proud is the life I see in this young child. I see the spirit of the old people. And I see the ancientness. He's so alive and so alert. And I'm worried because he's getting faster when he should be allowing himself to grow up. He's well before his years, I feel. But that keeps me alive. Seeing the life in that young child, knowing that I have a responsibility for that young child, allows me to live each day as it comes and live it with that young child. But look what the governments are doing to us. My old people lived here for a long, long time. I won't put a time on it because every time they dig around in this country, in the ground, they find an older date. And we know Aboriginal culture is old, we know it's ancient. The old people say we've been here since first sunrise. But when you put the economy on the scale with the environment, one thing always loses, and it's the environment. And without the environment, without nature, we can't live. What we're becoming and what we're doing to ourselves by being programmed, and Morel talked a little bit about programming, we're allowing the governments to get into our head, and then we're losing the respect from where we came from. We all came from the land as human beings. No scientist, no professor, no doctor can tell us when the first human came from the ground, and you will go back to the ground. This is a human thing we're doing here. This is not a protest. This is about us and the respect we have for each other and what we need to do to live freely in this country. We cannot allow the governments to get into our minds and control our minds. So then it becomes a race. And then we run out of time to live because we've got to chase. We've got to chase money because that's all this government is about. It's not about saving this country. Everything my old people had is still in this land, and they lived here for a long, long time. All the medicines, all the foods are still here. Why aren't we using them? We're talking about an ancient culture. We're talking about this tree that's old, but what can it teach us about living? Does it need a needle for COVID? But yet it gives us fresh air every day to live. The answer's in nature. The more disconnected you become from nature, the more unwell you will become. So we have to start looking at this, how we save our country. Because if they keep on digging around, we're going to fall through. So look, my message to you people is, let's start teaching this government that what they're doing to this land is wrong. They're destroying all of us. They're destroying our future, and they're supposed to be accountable, and they're supposed to be there for us. Does our vote count? I don't believe it does in this country. I don't believe they even count our votes. I've lost my confidence in this government a long time ago. But it's us coming together in big numbers that can hold them accountable, that can make them look at themselves, what they're doing. When they have to read from a piece of paper and watch what they say, you know they're not telling the truth. So what are they hiding? They're hiding the future because they're driven by money. Thank you. It's an honour to be here.
That's how you get up there to the
Keep on doing this. Keep on coming together. My old people did this for land rights. They stood in the streets and they got thrown in jail. If we have to get thrown in jail, we'll go there together. As brothers and sisters, as human beings. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle D. Very powerful and right on the money speech. Our next speaker, oh wait a second here. We have a little shoe. Anyone with a child with a lost shoe, this has been handed in. We'll just keep it down here. Yeah, we'll just keep it, there we go. Yes. Our next speaker is someone that many of you know, is Victor Tay. Victor, I'd like to invite you to come out here, and I'm sure he's got something to say to us that will be an encouragement to us. Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you, Michael. It's good to be here. Long time no see. It's great to be here with my family as well. So say hello to Super Mama over there. She's the one with 6 kids and the double pram. My name is Victor Tay. I pastor a Bible-believing church in the Liverpool area. And yes, I am just as disappointed as you with the little resistance we've seen from church leaders to what is going on in our country. But hey, if you're looking for a church that believes the Bible and is standing up for what's right, standing up for our health freedom, then you know where to find one. But most of you would know me as the guy who geared up and went for some exercise during the most oppressive, draconian, disgraceful trampling on of our freedoms our country has ever seen. And if you didn't know, during those times when I was standing up for my rights, I was arrested twice. Once in May with another lady named Renee, and another time in September. But thankfully, with the help of Rebel News, we were able to go to court to fight these fines. So we've already been successful beating one, but Renee still has hers in August, and I still have one more to go in November. So our court cases could have a significant impact on our government's ability to impose restrictions on our constitutional rights moving forward. So if you want to support us in this fight, you can donate at fightthefines.com.au. I'm so grateful to Rebel News because they have contributed more and so much more than what has been raised through the crowdfunding effort. So every little bit counts. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not liking this new normal. 14 days to flatten the curve, they said. And here we are, 14 months later. So what are you going to do about it? I mean, isn't this rally awesome? I mean, what a great job the organisers have done putting it together. It's great to come to a rally, hear speeches, get motivated, get frustrated, get angry. But here's the reality. It's not going to make a difference if you go home, back to your comfortable lives, expecting someone else to do the work while our country goes down the toilet. When it comes to the work of God, you know what Jesus said? He said, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. And unfortunately, the same problem exists when it comes to political activism. There's plenty to do, but not always the people needed to do it. So what can you do? I mean, join a political party, join a lobby group, speak to your local MPs, educate others, encourage them to do the same. The currency of politicians is votes. And this is the game we're in, guys. Anything you can do to impact the final result, that's how you can make an impact. And you say, Victor, why bugger? You want to make a difference. Well, you know what? If everyone who felt that way actually did something, you know what? It would make a difference. So don't be discouraged. Just do what you can. I can't make a difference on my own. But if I do what I can, and you do what you can, and we do it together, we can make a difference. Don't underestimate what an active group of people this size can accomplish. But we've got to be active. We've got to put our egos aside. All right, guys, we've got to put our egos aside. We've got to put our unrelated differences aside and stand together, united behind this common cause if we want to preserve our health freedoms. So do something. Do what you can. Let's do it together. And always remember, muscles are like rights. If you don't use them, you lose them. All right, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Victor. That was very encouraging. And now I'd like to invite our next speaker, Naomi Cook, up. Naomi the nurse. You might, ex-nurse, sorry about that, Naomi. You might not know that Naomi is also one of our executive committee members of the Informed Medical Options Party, IMOP. Naomi, thank you very much for being here, and I'll leave the mic.
Hi. Health, vitality, good immunity cannot be defined by or reduced to artificially stimulated antibodies in the blood. If we are going to talk about mandating medication to protect the health and well-being of others, then there is a series of questions that need to be asked. When I was a freshly registered nurse, I decided for fun to write an article for a popular nursing magazine. And I really wanted to argue that nurses have an ethical obligation to get the flu vaccine each winter. It's true. I know. I needed some good science to back up my argument. To my surprise, the science behind the flu vaccine is really weak, and it derailed my entire argument. So instead, I decided to explore the ethics of mandating the flu shot. If we're going to mandate the flu shot in nurses to protect their patients, I argued we needed to open Pandora's box then, and also suggest, in order to protect the health and well-being of their patients, nurses should get a certain number of hours of sleep per night. It's good for immunity. In order to protect their patients, nurses should eat a certain quantity of fruit and vegetables per day. It's good for immunity. Nurses should undertake a strong daily exercise regime. Nurses should be banned from smoking. Nurses should be banned from drinking alcohol. Nurses should be banned from eating fried food and maybe even chocolate. If we are going to insist that nurses, or anyone for that matter, take a medication to protect the health and well-being of others, you cannot stop at the medication. Why argue for one and ignore the other factors that affect health? You are told that you are a danger to others because you opt out. Please feel free to ask them, do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you eat sugar? Do you drink too much caffeine? Do you take drugs? Do you have a smartphone addiction? Do you sit around watching junk TV? So you think that I put your health in danger because I'm opting out? Okay, let's talk about health. Do you eat fresh, organic, non-processed food? Do you get 8 hours uninterrupted sleep per night? Do you get daily sun exposure? Do you fast? Regularly? Do you exercise daily? Are you teetotal? Do you minimize your screen time? Do you turn your Wi-Fi off at night? Do you take well thought out, high quality supplementation to counteract the mineral deficiencies in our soils? The list goes on. If not, then you have no place talking to me about my health. The only threat to your health is you, not me. Health is a personal responsibility. What about the immunocompromised and the vulnerable? I am a mother to a child who is medically vulnerable and has been for 7 years since tragically her first brain tumour. I have never requested a school shut down in a gastro outbreak, which is dangerous for her. I have never told other families to moderate their lifestyles to suit my child. I remove my child from school. I continue her until it's safe for her to go back. If you truly think that taking this shot will increase your vitality and your life force, as well as giving you the antibodies that are not synonymous with health, go ahead. But insisting that others get it must necessarily ignite discussions about healthy lifestyles in general. And when we have fast food outlets advertising the vaccine on the side of a packet of greasy French fries, offering a free donut a day for a year, somehow I think this conversation will be over in under a minute. It is a fact that those who truly understand health, vitality and life force will be the ones opting out of this mass experiment. We understand that attaining true health is a journey, one with ups, one with challenging downs. It takes time, it takes energy, discipline and dedication. It does not come in a packet or in the form of a 2-second shot in the arm.
I knew it would be good. Okay, now I'd like to invite Brother Art. He can come to the stage. I'm sure we've got something interesting here too. Thank you, brother.